So it says here that you're suing for 50% custody and that you're a, quote, great dad. What kind of a dad could a what kind of a father are you? Why would I believe that?
I mean, I do it all. I do it all, Yana. I'm a super dad. I mean, super dad. I'm talking about Batman dad, Spider-Man dad. You understand what I'm saying, Yana?
Excuse me, your hors d'oeuvres. Can I say something?
Well, Super Dad, I'm going to consider that photo abuse of the children because they were too close to the barbecue grill.
I read my baby's bedtime stories in bed.
Do you expect for me to really believe you read to the children?
Your officer, can I say something?
I'll let you convict him in a second.
This is preposterous.
What was that word?
Preposterous.
Well, preposterously hand over your credit cards.
He needs to hand over his EBT, Green Dot, and Netflix codes, too.
Oh, he has Cash App, does he?
How am I supposed to pay my rent, my bills? How am I supposed to get to work?
You need to quit those little jobs anyway and stop trying to go to school to be a doctor.
This is preposterous.
Well, it's not my fault you weren't on your A game. So, hand over the house.
Preposterous. I'm getting older, and she's getting younger with my money.
Yes, well, I'm going to consider that compliment to her as abuse. Hand over your driver's license and your car.
Yana, please. What about me?
I don't want that old car. I need a brand new 2035 model.
And the shirt off your back, sir.
What else is y'all gonna take from me? The tattoos off my skin? Damn, that's cold, Yana. I mean, do I ever get to see my kid?
Yes, now, it says here that she has 3 children, and, they're all yours.
And Mr. Wong's.
Why?
At least Mr. Wang's feet don't stink after working 18 hours.
Why?
Who's Mr. Wong?
Just look at these two. You can tell they ain't mine.
Well, I'm gonna make you pay child support for all 3 anyway. Case dismissed.
Why?
This is Father's Time for A-Game TV. Looks like they gave him the Kanye Cosby. Wow. Could you tell us just what happened in there to you today, sir?
I feel 60 years older. I really need to get on my A game.
Come on, y'all, let's go get you a new daddy.
You should try A-Game. Yep, it's an all-natural supplement that'll help you get your energy, go back in there, and win.
I feel great again. I feel like myself. I feel like I'm on my A game.
A-Game will keep you out of custody court.
No, it won't.
Okay, maybe it won't, but it sure will give you the natural energy and vitality you'll need to stand up under the pressure.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey everybody. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. Thank you, Too Tall. It's a happy Friday. Thank you so much for kicking off the contributions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are going to have an interesting conversation today. We gonna cook. But we're gonna have an interesting conversation. This is why I chose the thumbnail that I did. Y'all like that thumbnail? I thought it was perfect. I could not pass up that thumbnail. I'm like, listen, gotta have that thumbnail. Like, I know I usually have like the chicks with the booty and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, nah, this time, that thumbnail gotta go up. Every once in a while, you come across a thumbnail and it's like, you know what, that picture right there sums it up. Cause we got bootleg Santa Claus roping a black woman in with a garland, roping them in. Put a 1 in the chat for me if you've heard of this new movie. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. Thank you so much, sweetheart. If you heard of this new movie called Violent Night, put a 1 in the chat if you heard of this new movie called Violent Night. It just came out this season. I love y'all too. Ale of Vengeance, I love y'all too. Y'all heard of it? Oh, okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you've seen it. Put a 2 in the chat if you've seen it or you want to see it. because I might talk about it some and I might spoil it. Violent Night is a new movie, Christmas movie, and it's basically centered on Santa is real, right? He's real, but he feel dejected and all this other kind of stuff because don't nobody really believe in him no more. Yeah, it's Die Hard and it's Home Alone. It's dark comedy. Supposedly, that's the genre it's supposed to be in, like dark comedy. So basically what happens is this family's getting together, this really rich family's getting together for the holidays, and they are going to be robbed by this little crew, right? And it's like an inside job because this family is like super wealthy. And so it's basically an inside job. The leader of the little bandit crew is John Leguizamo. And basically they go in, they are holding the family hostage because they are trying to rob them. Problem is, Santa gets caught up delivering toys and gifts. Gets caught up in the whole heist that they trying to do. Doesn't really want to get caught up in it. But what end up happening is he does. And Santa starts kicking butt and taking names. Santa, when they say violent night, they mean that because Santa is like killing people. He's deleting them. It's not really all that funny either. He's like gruesomely dispatching people. Like in a gruesome, savage kind of way. And it's a really interesting movie. It's a real interesting movie. If I get a little bit more into it, I'll let y'all know that I'm going to spoil it. Because the reason why I brought it up in the first place is because I don't know if everybody has noticed. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing for movies and stuff to start portraying Santa and elves and, you know, all of this type of stuff in a more sinister kind of way rather than this jolly, you know, happy, kid-friendly way. Now, there is a child in the movies, a little mixed black girl, because the main couple is a black woman and a white man. I might, you know what? I got a lot of other stuff to talk about here. And I had a whole thing written out. But the spirit of, you know, the Most High is moving me this way. Sometimes that happens. I'll write a whole entire show, have it all played out in my head. And then when the camera comes on, the Most High say, you don't say that, say this. And I was only going to touch this movie because it had something to do with what I wanted to say. Somewhat, but I was going in a different direction. But let me talk about it. I'm going to spoil this movie. So if you want to see it, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to spoil this movie for you. I'm going to talk about it. We're doing movie spoilers today. Movie spoilers today. Because I had a whole thing I was going to talk about the history of Santa, and I think I will. I'm going to try to get this in this hour. I'm going to try to get it in this hour because what I'm going to try to do is stop doing overtime so much. Violent Night starts off, and I gave y'all the spoiler warning, so here we go. Violent Night starts off with Santa, who is actually real. The real life, flying in the sky with reindeer. He can go all over the world all night. That's Santa. He's really real in this movie. For the premise of the movie, he's real. He's sitting in a bar. He's a drunk. Okay. Now, the thing that I want to get everybody up to speed on before I talk about any of the plot details is that there are no good people in this movie. There's a protagonist and there's an antagonist. They are not good people. There's no good person in this movie. Thank you, Anthony. So check your Instagram. I sent you interesting topics. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll check that out. And so there aren't any good people in this movie. Everybody in the movie is trash. Nobody has a moral high ground, especially Santa. Especially Santa. So Santa's in a bar. He's a drunk. He's talking to another Santa. And Santa's like, you know, how long have you been doing it? He's like, man, I kicked it off, you know, or whatever. But he's a drunk. He's sitting in the what you call. So he leaves the bar after talking to everybody. And he goes up on the roof. So the bartender is just an older lady. She's like, man, that door leads to the roof. Why would he go up there? She just figured he's a drunk roaming around. So she goes up there to like get him off the roof. Because like, why are you on the roof? And what the title of the movie is Violent Night. Like Silent Night, but Violent Night. So she gets on the roof and realizes that he's real. Because she looks up to see the sleigh and the reindeer and him flying through the sky. He passes by and like he barfs on her or whatever, right? She's all stuck in the wonder of there actually being a Santa. Then she gets barfed on. So that's supposed to be funny or whatever. So fast forward, we are looking at an interracial couple. This is the main couple. He's white, she's black. And they have a little child, a little girl, looks to be about 7 or 8, something like that, little girl. So the little girl is really a naive little girl. You know, she still believes that Santa is real and things of that nature. Now, when you first see this couple, you automatically understand that there's a lot of tension between the mother and the father. Okay, lots of tension, and you don't know why. This movie doesn't do a whole lot of going into the background of everybody because it's one of those gratuitously violent films. So it's not interested in going into the background. It doesn't take itself super seriously to begin with. So you have to infer a lot of things. So you see this tension. So they're going to his family's home, his mother's home, little compound where they're getting away, a little vacation, blah, 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 blah. And this is in Greenwich, Connecticut. So they go over there and they meet up with his sister and her man. Now his sister has a little boyfriend and he's supposedly an actor, but he like a little D-list actor or something like that. You know, he not no big deal. He pump himself up like he a big deal, but he a D-lister, right? But she like him because he's cute. He don't like her, but he knows that her family is quite wealthy, and so he's going to grift that money through her. She has a young son that's probably look like he about 15 or so. And she raises him badly. She don't care. She actually wanted her little boy toy to kiss her in front of, she made a point to say, kiss me in front of my son. And like they get into this wild kiss or whatever. And so they are, the father and the sister are talking, and they're talking about the wealth of their family and who's gonna be inherit the business and who's gonna get the most money. And so they're vying with each other about this money. So what you come to understand piece by piece as the movie go on is that the black wife is supposedly at odds with the husband because she doesn't like that he, is so wrapped up in his mother and her doing her bidding and all of the wealth and sucking up to his mom in order to be the one that she chooses to pass the wealth to and all that kind of stuff, which is cap, because she'd been with that man long enough to have that baby that's about 7, 8 years old. So you knew what it was when you got with him. And the family don't like her because they find her to be a gold digger. They accuse her of being a gold digger, just getting in with him for the money. So the father, is this cowardly, weak. He's not masculine at all. He's not masculine at all. And excuse me. He's not masculine at all. And he is just this cowardly kind of guy. This I can't speak up for myself kind of guy. So the mother is finally introduced. She's a B. She's a hard nose. She don't care about nobody. She wealthy. She don't like her kids. She don't like her grandkids. She'll say anything in front of, she's just a mean, crass individual. So like I said, nobody in this movie is a good person. So we moving right along to where the heist begins. Okay. So this is an inside job. And so the people that she got working for her and blah, 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 blah are the ones that are turning on her to steal from her. So in the vault, in their house, is supposed to be $300 million. Now, as John Leguizamo and his little team show up, he is holding them hostage and he wants to get into the vault to get this money. Okay. Now, he's got a thing about Christmas that you find out later, and he doesn't like Christmas. He doesn't like nothing that it stands for and all of that type of stuff. So they start holding everybody hostage, threatening to kill people, blah, blah, blah. They kill the staff, kill the security and all of that type of stuff. So it's just the people who are robbing and the family members that are there. And Santa. So Santa gets caught up there trying to deliver these little toys or whatever. Now, earlier in the movie, this little girl's father gives her a little walkie-talkie because he fails to get her the actual gifts or whatever. We find out why later, which is not all that important. But he gives her this little walkie-talkie and tells her that it's a direct line to Santa, which she believes. This is the most naive little girl, delusional little girl in the whole world, right? So she believes it. So she's talking on this walkie-talkie, trying to reach Santa while they are in hostage situation. So by the time she reaches Santa on this walkie-talkie, Santa done dispatched like 2-3 people because they keep patrolling and he keep getting caught up and he be like, he fights, right? He fighting. So he dispatches a couple of people. He's getting hurt in the process. He's dispatching a couple of people. Now, him and this little girl end up having a conversation because he gets the walkie-talkie off of one of the people that he just dispatched. Gruesomely, by the way. And she's like, Santa, that's you? And he was like, yeah, it's me, it's Santa. So she's like, okay, well, we in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, before all this, Santa was not thinking about helping these people. He saw the situation unfolding. His reindeer left him as he was trying to get back to the roof and go up the chimney. And he was like cursing them. Like, why did you leave me? And then he was going to get out of there. He saw the whole thing. And despite the capability of helping them, he was not going to help them. It was only because this little girl, it was only because he kept getting caught up that he had to dispatch a couple people to save himself. Okay. So then he ends up having a little soft spot for this little girl. So this is after he done got hurt and he's sitting in one of the rooms in the mansion doctoring on himself because he done got cut. Now he takes his stuff off and you can see all of these ancient Celtic ritualistic tattoos all over him. They make sure to give you this visual of Santa, right? So he's taking care of his wounds and stuff like that. And he's talking to this little girl. And he like falls out for the, because he done sold himself up, so he falls out. So in his falling out, he dreams and he flashbacks to a time where he's like a Viking. He's like a barbarian. Okay, you see him, he's standing there, he's got the hammer, it's bloody, he's a warrior, right? But not an honorable one. He's like a raider. And so he talks to this little girl. I'm trying to speedball y'all through some stuff. He talks to this little girl and he's telling her a little bit about who he really is. This is important. He's telling her a little bit about who he really is. And he's telling her, I was not good. I was a barbarian, a savage. I was a thief. I was a raider. I was a murderer. I had a favorite hammer called Skull Crusher, and I was doing damage with that thing, right? Now, what you gather from that, or at least what I gathered from it, is that, first of all, he was not always Santa. Second of all, it's probably a curse to him somehow. Movie doesn't go into it. So the little girl starts talking to him after he admits who he is and how savage he is and how much of a murderer he is. She starts talking to him about, no, you're good. You're good. And the reason you're good is because I remember when I wrote a letter to you and I wanted this little bunny thing and you gave it to me and it was my best friend. And so he started going back in memory about all of the letters that she used to send to Santa that he received, right? So he knew what she wanted and knew that she was a lonely little girl and all this type of stuff. So they're making a bond that's borderline a little too intimate, a little bit, think the professional, Leon and the little girl. But pull back just a little bit because the professional was like borderline sexual. So anyway, she's convincing him that savagery that he's admitting to is actually a good thing. That his demonic energy that he been in the whole time he been alive is somehow a good energy because she benefited off of it. And what this told me was the dynamic between the collective mindset of black women and Zaddy. We know Zaddy is a colonizer. We know he's savage. We know he destructive. We know that he's evil. We know that his intentions be evil. But because we can benefit a little bit from what he does, we convince ourselves and we convince him that he's good. That there's got to be some good in him because we were able to get some benefit. So what the little girl is asking him to do is call on that demonic energy, recapture that savagery to save me, to benefit me one more time. I need benefit one more time from you. Because Santa is admitting to his demonic self. Never once do he claim really good. And this is why I say nobody in the movie is really good. Arguably, the little girl is not good either. Naive. Maybe a little innocent, but not quite good. So anyway, with that in mind, Santa goes on a deletion spree. He just wiping through them. Now, at this point, after he done got that, you know what I'm saying, that energy or whatever from her, that encouragement from her, he finds like a hammer, like a sledgehammer. He finds one, right? I think he gets it out of his bag, which is like a magical bag. And he's going off to these people, right? He handling these people like gruesomely. He cutting, he beating, all this other kind of stuff, right? And he's like a blood-soaked mess, okay? this little girl is like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like she know that's what he doing. She helps him. She gets away. She goes up into the attic of the mansion, and she starts setting up stuff like Home Alone, because she done watched Home Alone and she liked the little booby traps. So she sets up booby traps too. So the little girl is deleting people. The little girl is deleting people with Santa. She's communicating with him on the walkie-talkie, and she doing her own thing, right? So it's supposed to be comedic that she's got this Home Alone stuff going. But unlike Home Alone, nobody ever gets deleted from these little booby traps. It's just goofy. She's deleting people. Okay? So now we learning more through the movie about John Leguizamo and how he don't like Christmas. So he don't like Christmas because he was always poor. His family already didn't have nothing, you know, and he was jealous of his best friends and the neighbors and stuff like that always was having a good Christmas and blah, 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 and had good family and all of that type of stuff. So he never liked it because it was never good to him. Okay? So he started getting into a bunch of mischief. He just wasn't no good from little kid. So he don't like Christmas. His whole thing is like, I'm going to end this. Like, I don't like this entire thing. So they starting to be aware that there's a Santa. They're not believing him when he tells them, no, I'm Santa. So they get everybody together like, who's the Santa Claus? And so everybody like, we don't know. We don't know who this guy is. We don't have a Santa Claus. And so the little girl's like, it's really Santa. You know, so everybody like, girl, you know what I'm saying? No, really Santa. So in the midst of everything, her father's having a drop to her that there's no such thing as a Santa Claus. Parents just tell their kids that, you know what I'm saying? Me and your mama buy your gifts and stuff like that. So the little girl just looking at him because what he don't realize is that she been talking to Santa on that little walkie-talkie, and she believe it. So they're all in a tizzy trying to figure out who this guy is and all that kind of stuff. So they end up at one point catching him up, tying him up, and they trying to figure out what's his deal. So he like, nah, I'm really Santa Claus. Like I'm really that. And they like, man, we don't believe that. So he starts like proving it to him. He starts saying their name. And I remember what you asked for when you was 10. And I remember what you did when you was a little kid. And I remember what you did when you was a little kid. And this and that and that. And so they like getting thrown off because they like, how you know? How do you know that? And he like, listen, I told y'all I'm Santa. So they get out of that little squeeze. So they come to believe it. John Leguizamo ends up believing it. He like, yeah, I know you Santa, but I'm still going to end you because I don't like you. I don't like nothing that you represent. I don't like it. So we going to end you. Yeah, we gonna do it. So the subplot is this. Out of all of the scheming and scamming that the family is doing with each other, the father of the little girl reveals to his mother that he is stealing the money because they finally get into the vault only to find that there's nothing in the vault. So now they're super mad. They're like, who knows what happened? So the son sneaks like a little letter to his mom, tell her that he stole it. And what he did was he got all the money out of the vault. He packed it away and hid it in the like little nativity scene that's in the yard. In these little bags and stuff like that, he hid it. Like kind of hidden in plain sight. So what his plan was is he was going to get his wife back by telling her that we gonna leave my family behind. I'm not gonna deal with my mama and stuff no more. But he was gonna steal all the money and take it with him. Now that wasn't gonna be all of their family money, but it was a good chunk. It was like $300 million. So eventually the mother ends up telling him, as the movie started winding down into the climax, the mother started telling him, like, I'm glad you did that. Like, I'm proud of you. That you had the gumption and the guts to take that money from me. Thank you, Ranger. One said, waiting for you to get your women team together on Jason Black to discuss Best Man, the final chapter. Oh, okay. I should check that out. Okay, thank you so much, Ranger One. And thank you, John. So you tell a story as good as Charlie Murphy. Oh, thank you. Thank you all for because we gonna cook. I'm setting something up for you guys. This is probably gonna be overtime. So I'm trying to get through this to the points. This can be called the Divest the Hyena's Nightmare because there's an overarching thing that we're gonna get to. So I'm trying to illustrate to you that the family is no good. The father is coming off as this cowardly but yet good guy, but he's not a good guy. He's a thief like the rest of his family, right? So the mother is like, I'm proud of you for doing that because I stole our family business and wealth from my father. Like I stole it from him. So that's how I got in control of the family wealth and business. And so by you stealing it, you actually prove that you worthy of, like being the heir and stuff like that, because that's what we do. That's what we on. We'll steal from each other. We'll cut each other's throat. So they end up having this whole big fight, blah, 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 the climax. The big climax was Santa against John Leguizamo. They fight to the end. Santa kills John Leguizamo gruesomely. All of the kills are gruesome. So he's laying there and he's dying. Santa's dying, right? Because he ends up getting shot like a bunch of times. So he's laying there dying. So little girl like, I believe in you, Santa. You know what I'm saying? I believe you, blah, 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 blah. She's like professing like her love and her belief and essentially her worship of Santa. Okay? So he like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he's dying. So the parents and all the adults start saying, okay, we believe too, because he did save our family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. So he dies and everybody talking about how thankful they are for the way that he saved them. So that actually revives him. It revives him. He comes back to life. Okay? He's a demon. He comes back to life. And so she like, you was dead. And he was like, yeah, but your belief, he was like, Christmas magic, still don't really know how it works. All this time, I still don't understand it. He's like, but yeah, like, I'm back. His reindeer comes back. They bring him an extra sack, but they also bring him Skull Crusher, his original hammer. Okay? And he was like, man, y'all went to go get my backup stuff. Like, I can't be mad at y'all because y'all was like trying to help me. So he rides off into the night to finish doing Santa stuff. Now, I gave y'all all of that because the overarching theme of what we seeing here is hyenas being told that a white man is gonna save them no matter what happened. First of all, you could get married to this white man. He gonna be rich and wealthy. You gonna have this baby, but still kind of gonna have problems with him. His family don't like you, and don't want you around. You don't belong. You don't really fit here. You don't really fit here. One of the scenes in the movie is that the black girl and her husband's sister are arguing. That's when you learn that the family don't like her because they think she's a gold digger. They come together, though, they squash that arguing to delete one of the guys. So they come together to beat this guy to death with like the fireplace pokers. And they like bonded over that. After they beat that guy to death, they didn't have no more beef. And the black lady was like, it's finally good to do something as a family. The little girl is only good because she's delusionally in belief of all of these Santa, the tropes, the rituals, because she's so steeped in this belief, that's what makes her good in this movie. That's what makes her pure, because she's so delusional. Now Santa is blood ridden. He's blood splattered. This little girl running up to him, hugging him, kissing him. She's unfazed by the fact that she's watching all of these gruesome murders. She's unfazed by it. She committed a couple of her own. Not a single person in the movie is good. Not one. Nobody has a moral high ground at all. Nobody. Not a single individual. Santa's a demon, and they as much as say so. And she loved him and all his demonic energy. The black wife ends up having to save herself in the end from one of the guys that's about to delete her, with her weak, cowardly husband all out of commission, not saving her. Didn't protect her at all. He was weak. At the end, after he didn't protect her and she had to do it on her own, you know what she did with that man? Tell me what she did with that man. Before I acknowledge these super chats, tell me what she did. Tell me what she did with that man. She didn't delete him. She ran to him. My husband, he didn't do no protecting. He was fighting way worse than her. Now, what do black women say black men don't do? Y'all don't protect. You never protect black women. This man, this white man, did not protect her at all. As soon as she dispatched her attacker, she went and ran into his arms as if he had protected her, as if he had saved her. Yeah, the Norse overtones were unmistakable because the origin of Santa is Germanic. It's it's Norsemen. So they believed in the Norse gods. They believed in Odin and Thor and all that kind of stuff. They believed in them. So thank you, Steven. Said if we consider that Santa is an anagram for Satan, the moral of this story is even more nefarious. Exactly. Precisely. Childlike, thank you so much. Outrageous shows black women's willingness to do Zaddy's bidding. Of course it does. One moment. Okay. So this is programming about some external white man and needing his savagery to help you, to save you, to bring you into good. But you gotta worship him to do it. He's gonna reveal to you who he is, and you gonna accept it. You gonna love him for it. You're gonna come to worship him for that very energy that he got. Because you benefit from it as a black woman. And as a little black girl. Thank you, Philip said, what's cooking, good looking, congrats on 85. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Philip. So this is going to be overtime because I got a lot to say. A lot. Because this title, but after these messages, we'll be right back.
See, wherever I go, stay ready, stay alert, always prepared for whatever. I see me. Here's a seat right here. I can see from all angles. I'm ready. It's time to get down to business. Game time.
Hi, honey. I know you just made it to the library, but love of my life, my hero, my lion, you forgot your A game. So come home, take it, and then you can go and conquer the world, black man. Oh, and one more thing. Would it kill you to just wear some socks? I'm just saying. Love you. And can you bring home some milk?
Oh, man. She be killing me. Okay, I'll go back. I'm gonna get my A game. I'm not putting them socks on. I'm good. I'm fly. I'm fresh. I'm gonna stop at 7-Eleven and get some milk.
We gonna get back to this cook because I got a lot to say. But before I can say it, let's get on our A game. A game. A game. Because we got to get on our A game to understand what's going on around us, because the men are going to help us understand what's happening as soon as he can get the clarity and as soon as he can get the overall support on his health to give him that much more of an edge on his day. And what is A game? A game is the #1 support for the overall health of men, and it supports his vitality, his energy, his strength, and his libido through the use of 21 extremely high quality herbs with no artificial ingredients, nothing to make him crash, no caffeine or any of that, just delivering as promised. Okay, once every 72 hours is all that it takes for a man to get the positive benefits of A game. So if you want to be part of the A game family, all you got to do is hit the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com. And please do not forget your 10% discount using the code Kendra10 so you can get A game delivered to you ASAP. All right. Thank you so much, Professor Carl Tones. Oh, snap, the color purple, the Christmas special. Exactly. And I owe y'all bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to because we got 380 awesome people who hit the like button. Let's get the next 400 or 500 people to hit the like button so we can just ease our way on down the road of the algorithm. All right. And other people can subscribe and we just help the channel grow that way. All right. Now let's get back to it. Now that I gave y'all the premise of that movie, there's more. Not necessarily because of the movie. We're going to move away from the movie. And what I want to get down to is some of the origin of what we recognize as Christmas today. Okay? And when I say what we recognize as Christmas, I mean the symbology. The mistletoes and the Christmas trees and Santa himself and, you know, and all of these different things that we engage in. And many of us do not understand where they come from or why we engage in them. It's just something that's cultural, so we do it, you know, and we don't really see any harm in it and things of that nature. But first of all, let's just say this. a lot of the rituals and the traditions that are associated with what we call Christmas had nothing to do at all with Christianity, didn't have anything to do with Jesus, didn't have anything to do with God or any of them things. And point of fact, the religious aspect in terms of Christianity didn't come until later. What it really started as in these Northern European countries was this was a harsh time. This was a worship centered around the winter solstice. Okay, that's why December 25th and December. Okay, it is centered around the winter solstice, and the reason why it's centered around the winter solstice is because this was a time for them that was very dangerous, and a time for them that they took very seriously because it marked the depths of winter that they had to survive through, that many of them did not survive because the conditions were so harsh. This is a time after all of the fall harvests. If the harvest went well or didn't go well, you're looking at a crisis through the winter months where they've got to buckle down. There isn't any more farming or anything like that to do. Okay, the ground is frozen solid. There's nothing to grow. What you did was you slaughtered a lot of your cattle and things of that nature because it wasn't nothing for them to eat during the winter months. So you took a few cattle and you slaughtered them. Okay? You burned a Yule log. The Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. What is Yuletide? Right? The Yule or the Yuletide or the Yule log was a representation of the warmth that they needed and living through a time that they considered to be a death for them. The winter is a dead time and they want to live through it, which is why the fir or the evergreen became the symbol of it, because it was the symbol of life. It was one of the few trees that did not die during the winter months. It's an evergreen. So therefore it is not a deciduous tree. Okay. It doesn't truly die. There's always green needles and things of that nature. It's always a living tree. So they took the tree, and because it symbolized life, they would decorate it and things of that nature. And this was a time of revelry. It was a time, kind of a celebration, but it was also a time that they feared, because it was Odin that they believed. Odin, the All-Father, the head of the Norse pantheon. Okay? Thank you, Child of Light. So this is why January 1st is not the new year. Right. But it was, and thank you so much. It was Odin who they believed would fly through the night, judging everyone and deciding who would live and who would die, who would be rewarded and who would be punished. Who is that? That's the attribute they give Santa Claus. Okay? He making a list. He checking it twice. Something, something, something. Who's naughty or nice? Santa Claus is coming to town. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Why do he know that? Why he know that? Why he know your business? Nobody ever question that. Why he know what you doing? And why you been bad and good, and why do he get to judge it? But in any case, let me keep going because it's a lot. Somebody said because he a creep. Cause I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Y'all remember that song? So they worshipped Odin. Odin was the one who would go around and judge it. Okay? So this for the Germans and others in Europe who believed this was also a frightening time for them. Okay? In Rome, they worshiped Saturn. Okay? And for them, around the winter solstice was a time of revelry, of celebrating disorder and chaos and the being out of order, okay? December 25th for them was the birth of Mithra, okay? One of their gods, okay? A child god. That was the birth. Now, as Christianity became more and more the dominant religion in Europe and all across Europe, it became attached to Jesus and the birth of Christ, okay, supposedly, right? And the reason why they kind of attached it is because they didn't outlaw those practices, those celebrations of Christmas, and why the pagans were celebrating it that way. They didn't outlaw it. They just kind of adopted it, certain parts of it, and that became intertwined with, okay, we just going, instead of the birth of Mithra, we're going to say it's the birth of Christ. Okay? And so that the Christians actually have a way to partake in the celebration without necessarily partaking into the pagan belief of it all. What this did was it created opposition between the piety of the thought of Christmas and the revelry of the thought of Christmas. Because at that time, Christmas, or what became known as Christmas, was celebrated more like a Mardi Gras than anything else. It was like a carnival, okay? It wasn't like what we do now, where it's about family and all this. It was more like a Mardi Gras celebration, okay? It was a lot of fighting and, you know what I'm saying, and just rabble-rousing during this time. Nothing about family and nothing about, you know what I'm saying, love and care and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't what it was about. That's not how they were celebrating it in England and all of this type of stuff. They wasn't celebrating it like that. So moving right along, when we get to America, the settlers were mostly Puritans, right? The puritanical settlers were trying to outlaw Christmas. They was trying to outlaw it. But it still had a resurgence in among them, among the settlers in the colonies, okay? After independence, after the American Revolution, they tried to outlaw it again because they didn't want, the English, influence and all that kind of stuff over how they worshiped and things of that nature. But it still came back. It still made its resurgence. So what they ended up doing, how we come to see the Christmas, the symbologies and all that type of stuff that we're used to now in America, because it was a blending of the old Germanic pagan traditions and the English traditions to come together to create an American tradition. Okay? So the tree was Germanic. The kind of the revelry and the party time was English. And then the characterization of Santa Claus and him being a big deal was American. Okay? So, and I'm skipping over a lot of details. I know that I am, but I'm trying to get to something that we can really, I promise you I'm going to round this out. Things like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Things like, I know his last name was Moore, that created the poem, "'Twas the night before Christmas and all through the house. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung, something, something, about a chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nick would soon be there." You know, that, right? And the description of St. Nick. Now, that was based on an actual person, Nicholas, who they later sainted. And they sainted him because of his renowned generosity to the poor, okay? And his giving to the poor and things of that nature. So Nicholas was an actual person that later became the basis for Santa Claus, okay? Or Santa Claus. Remember, these are German words, okay? So he became the symbol of this generosity, and they blended it with the concept of Odin being the one that can go all night to the whole world and either deliver presents to good children or lumps of coal to bad children, okay? What they were attempting to do with that poem, "Twas the Night Before Christmas" and A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, was meant to change the culture and the cultural thought and perception surrounding how Christmas is celebrated in America. So they were actively creating their own Christmas tradition that was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and something new. Okay? Santa himself, the view of Santa himself, were represented taking something commercial and making it seem like it was something spiritual. So you buying presents, don't think of it as propping up these businesses and stores and buying into all the marketing and the commercials. Think of it as money spent out of the purity and the love and affection for your family and your kids and all of this. And Santa himself is pivotal to this illusion that it's about this jolly man who's only trying to spread joy and peace and love. But in order to give gifts, you got to shop for them. Now we getting into it. Okay? Because what had been happening all along, why it was important for me to mention the integration of Christianity into traditions that already existed centering around the winter solstice, is because it created the tug of war between value systems. It created the tug of war between value systems. The religious component wanted to celebrate a 10-life value system. Remember when we used to say it's the reason for the season? Don't forget the reason for the season. Remember we used to say that? And we were talking about don't forget Jesus. Peace be upon him. Right? That's what we was talking about. Don't forget the reason for the season. So don't get caught up with all of the commercial part of it and getting gifts and shopping and partying and this and that. Remember that it's supposed to be about spiritual value. It's supposed to be about health. It's supposed to be about family, not commercialism. But the tug of war continues to exist, and black women are caught up in this tug of war heavily. Because you got some people that's on Christmas Eve and stuff like that will go to church. I remember being little, and that was one of the things that we did on Christmas Eve. We didn't party Christmas Eve. What we did was our church was open. So we used to go to service. It was like all night service. Right? So we used to go and have service. Especially to then and New Year's Eve. We would bring the New Year in prayer. So we would be in church and stuff like that, and we would have service, and you know what I'm saying? And when the clock strike and stuff like that, we would have prayer, and then, you know, you could go home. Okay? So there's this tug of war happening between the concepts of these value systems. We as black people, and specifically black women, have long been caught up in what has increasingly become the foolishness of the holiday season. One moment. Okay? We're caught up in the foolishness of the holiday season. Because what this holiday season has become, as we know it, as we grew up with it, it represents the pinnacle of the lost value system. But we get to pretend that we're about the 10 life values. It's got us celebrating overtly the lost value system that we live in. But then we get to pretend that we are on the 10 life values and that's what it's about. Because the focus of the foolishness of the holiday season is that it focuses on wealth and leisure. And the only value system that's got wealth and leisure at the top is the lost value system. Let's talk about the wealth part. Let's talk about the foolishness of that. Because we spending money we don't have, a lot of us. Majority of us is spending money on stuff that we do not have. It don't matter if it's a recession or depression. It don't matter if it's an economic downturn. It don't matter if it's economic boom. It don't matter if it was a pandemic just a little while ago or nothing like that. It don't matter if you got a job, on aid, don't got a job, got a good job, you got some savings, you don't got no savings, your credit good, your credit bad, whatever the case may be. You got folks go and get them little title loans and payday loans and all of this other kind of stuff. Thank you, Damba Nagasi. Thank you so much. I read in an article that it was a time when the world outlawed Christmas, but the state of Alabama still kept it going secretly. That's why Coca-Cola still uses Santa, their holiday mascot. And here we are now. Thank you so much. Right. They were trying to ban it a long time ago, but it don't never stay banned. The reason why I don't ever stay banned is because people do want to come together over something. That's a human desire. That's a human need for us to socialize like that. And so Christmas kind of give us the excuse to do that. But that's neither here nor there right now. Thank you, AP Beats. Say exactly. Folks gonna be broke till tax time, only to be broke again soon after. Right, that's why tax time is such a big thing, because they're trying to recover from all the spending that they did during the holidays, New Year's and all of that. Thank you, Fitty Fresh, said Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1 through 5, speak out against pagan Christmas. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sidewinder, said this is evidence Christianity was stolen from Africa, representing the astral projection through the winter solstice, orchestrated by indigenous native women of Africa. They embedded their system in something that is powerful. Thank you so much, Sidewinder. Thank you so much. You're spending money that you don't got. Okay? Trying to get or buy gifts, get decorations, buy new clothes, buy new shoes. You're trying to get the latest iPhone. You're trying to get the latest computer or whatever it is, electronic gadget, whatever you trying to get. Some of you spending money on vacations. You know, I'm getting away from, I'm going to Miami. It's cold. Newsflash, it's cold in Florida right now. Ha! Won't he do it? It's cold in places that ain't never been cold. Okay? So you ain't getting away. You're going on vacation. Okay? And what's happening is you're taking the consumerism up several notches. That's how we know it's the lost value system. Because you're taking it up several notches above what you used to do. What you usually do all year. Okay? And that consumerism starts from Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, after you just spent all your money getting all that food. Okay? And going out and whatever you did for Thanksgiving. Then Black Friday come around, you got to spend your money then. And then Cyber Monday come around, you got to spend your money then. And you spending money all up to Christmas. Okay? Then you're passing out gifts or you're getting gifts or whatever the case might have been. Then you got to have a little bit more money because you got the party for New Year's now. It's not over. The party ain't over. You got to bring in the new year with a bang. Okay? Then you got to recover from that. You don't want to go back to work because you're tired, you're hungover. Okay? All kind of stuff going on with you during this time where you're taking up all of the consumerism, you're bringing it up notches. You're not downplaying it, you're bringing it up. You're doing more than what you used to do. Okay? You're doing more. You got your kids believing in a fat white man can come down your chimney and Negroes ain't had a chimney since I was little. What you tell them babies that for? I knew that was bunk back when I ain't get too old with that Santa Claus stuff. They try to say Santa Claus, I don't know where the chimney at then. Cause we don't got now one of them. So how he get in here? And I don't think I want him in here. How he get in here? See, I was suspicious. I was a suspicious little girl. Okay? I was a very suspicious little girl. Thank you, Jeffrey. Said putting 5 on this December cookout. When you cook, it's always delicious. All praise due to you, sister. And thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. I was a suspicious little girl. I know. Because you can't tell me he give gifts to good little girls, because I'm a good little girl. I don't give y'all no problem. I bring A's home from school. I do all my homework. I wash all these dishes. I be cleaning baseboards and mopping floors. And you mean to tell me that ain't good enough? For me to get a little Barbie, all I wanted was a little Barbie with a couple of little changes of clothes. That's all I ever wanted. I never did get that. I think one little time I had got me a little Rainbow Bright and it had gave me her little convertible. I was happy with that little convertible too. She had a little Rainbow Bright and it had little rainbows on it. They done stole the rainbow now. Po thing. Rainbow Bright is LGBT now. You can't even get her. She's something else now. But when I was young, rainbows was just colors. It didn't mean nothing else. It was just Rainbow Bright now. Thank you, Bruce, thank you so much. That people are so programmed till they think it's strange when you don't celebrate it. They do think it's weird when you don't. I had a lot of pushback when I stopped. Thank you, Child of Light. Said never dawned on people Christmas shopping. Right. Thank you, Caribbean Vanguard. Said love you, sis. I know they hate you, but we love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of y'all support. Yeah, Rainbow Bright. When I was little, Rainbow Bright was just a little girl that liked the rainbows a lot. And she would have her little rainbow hope, you know, and things would get better because it would be rainbows. You know, stole a dang on rainbow. Anyway, you take the consumerism up a few notches. You go into debt. Let's talk about the black women that pull scams this time of year. Your scams. This is the time of year. Listen, let me tell you something about the real spirit of this time. It don't have nothing to do with the Most High. The true spirit of this time, this is a time that's got people doing the most self-deletions. Folks is depressed. Around this time, they delete themselves. You get the most scams. You get the most thieves come out. This is not a time about loving nobody. This is a time to take from folks and take advantage of people and get over on people. You got folks running credit card scams. That'd be the biggest thing. These retail chain stores, oh, you know, we had a breach. So everybody that bought something between such and such, you know, we owe y'all because we had a breach of, you know, our database that's got everybody credit card number in it. If the chain ain't doing it, they ain't gonna sell. I don't put it past them. That's a good point. Somebody said, why you don't see the Salvation Army people at no other time? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Flavor Country. Said my father KO'd the Santa theme for quiet. He said, I worked too hard to get some white man credit for breaking in my house and claim to give you gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any black man that is working his fingers to the bone, y'all better not tell y'all kids some fat white man is giving them kids no gifts when that man is working and getting that money. They want a new Xbox and all that old kind of stuff. That they daddy did that. You dare. When I would dare to tell my kids, here's some fat white man. Man, if you don't get out there and knock that off, your daddy bought that, and I suggest you go in there and thank him. Quit worrying your daddy. See how good your daddy is to you? See how much your daddy love you? Go in there and give your daddy a hug and a kiss and tell him you love him and you thank him. Use this opportunity to teach your children how to honor their father. Thank you, J. Rock. Old Sanford and Son Fred told him, I never told you there was no Santa Claus. I told you no white man was coming in his neighborhood at night to bring you gifts. Right. Thank you, Ranger. One of the best ranking base cartoons, Little Drummer Boy and the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus 1985 on Amazon. Okay. It's a lot of crime waves happening this time of year. I know that it is difficult for a lot of us listening to this, whether you hear live or whether you come back on a replay to hear what I'm saying. Thank you, 39 Dina. This is tough, and it's a tough thing to come to this stuff because we grew up with this. We grew up with this. Even those of us who know better, bootleggedly be getting the Christmas spirit. Tell me I'm lying. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, non-denominational, Hebrew. If you grew up here, you be low-key getting in the Christmas spirit. I'm guilty. I like hot cocoa around this time. I be catching myself talking about some, hang on the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas, I will play some Donny Hathaway on Christmas. I have been known to play some Donny Hathaway. Thank you, Shannon. And thank you again, AP Beats, that folks be backsliding like the Grinch. Tell me y'all don't play no Donny Hathaway. Tell me y'all don't be Santa Claus. Come straight to the ghetto. This is ingrained in us. Old Nat King Cole. Chestnut roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. The decoration. You want to watch the lights. You want to eat the food. You want to have the gathering. We understand it. I understand it. So this is not me accusing nobody or trying to make nobody feel no type of way like I'm exempt. And I've been Muslim since 96. Grew up on them little stop motion. Anybody remember them stop motion Christmas movies? The one with Rudolph, and then it was one with Frosty and all of them. And then a real old one. I'm Hot Rock, I'm Coco, I'm Joe. I remember that. Watch A Christmas Carol in a minute. These are the things that are a part of us. But we do have to understand where it comes from and why it's here and what to really do and how to really think about these things in reality. Thank you, Sigma said, caught myself singing at Donnie yesterday. And SC 107.3 caught myself when the song was over. Right. Thank you again, Sidewinder. Say, yeah, that dude, they sell them credit card numbers out the back door to scammers, then get caught, have to write it off as a theft, then inform the clients of a breach. Yeah. We gotta understand these things. We understand this stuff, right? But we gotta look at it from a value system standpoint. which is what I'm trying to get to and flesh out today. Because we will still rock down to, hey, Rudolph, now won't you guide my sleigh, the California Raisins? Don't play with me, the California Raisins. Okay? We know the stories by heart. But it's fake. We've been lied to. We've been hoodwinked. We've been run amok. These are lies that we've been told. What are the lies that we have been told about this stuff? We get told, let's go to leisure. That we got a party and we got to turn up and act out beyond capacity. Revel in chaos and disorder for at least a week or more. We causing trouble and we don't care about the outcome. And then we get to pretend and we get to fake like this is the 10 life value system. Really, it's like a rite of passage. Listen to what I'm saying today. It's like a rite of passage at the end of the year that we got to do to move into the next year. That we got to worship the lost value system. We got to worship the lost value system. In an overt, unabashed way, as it disguises itself as if it was the 10 life values. So we get the fake as though we're being spiritual at this time. Like we love other people. Like we care about our neighbors. Like we care about what's going on. Like we care about the homeless. You know, you're in the Christmas spirit, so you'll get that homeless man a couple of dollars. Now, every other day in the year, you pass by him, you curse him for being there and asking you for something. Now, I got to work for this money. I ain't got no money to be giving you. Probably a crackhead or something. Then around this time, because you hear jingle bells, ding, 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 ding. I can go ahead. And you know, the reason for the season, go ahead, give him some money. You don't care. Where the other days? Where the other days where you love everybody else? What happened to the other days in the year? Huh? Where the Most High told you how to behave with your neighbors. To love thy neighbors. If you know your upstairs neighbor, your downstairs neighbor have been hungry for a week, did you fix any extra food to give it to them? Thank you, Neomon. You get to act like you're good-hearted when you hard-hearted. Health. Let's get to that. You get to pretend like you always make home-cooked good hot meals for your family, and you don't. I got to fix it in my plate. I ain't fixing nothing. I don't even know how to cook. So many of you can't cook, but what you do is you'll go to Jewel's or you'll go to Boston Market. Tell me I'm lying. You will go to Boston Market and get them pre-cooked meals and you'll put it on the plate like you done cooked it all night. days of Christmas. For the 12 days that the Yule log used to burn. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, what was it, 2 turtle doves or whatever it is. I don't remember it all. Why is it 12 days of Christmas? Serving food. You don't went to, y'all know about Jules that sell them chickens and them turkeys. You could go back, pre-order your meal. They have it ready. Family. You get to fake and pretend like you care about your family, like you love them. Like you care about what they go through. Like you care about meeting the needs of your family, and you do not meet the needs of your sons and daughters. You don't meet the needs of your husband. You don't meet the needs of your brothers and sisters. You don't meet the needs of nobody in your family. You don't meet none of their needs. They can't depend on you for nothing but a hard time and an attitude. And if you do anything for them, you rub it in their face. Remember, I gave you such and such and now. How can I not remember? You won't let me forget. Remember, I paid your son tuition that semester. You know, Grandma, if you gotta bring it up, you know what I mean? What happened to doing it, you know, for the pleasure of God, and, you know, God know you was charitable? But we got to go through this rite of passage every year. Get to the height of the lost value system. And after you don't worship the lost value system, you know what you do after that? You know what we do after we don't worship the lost value system like that? You get into the new year and you do what? You make a New Year's resolution. You make a New Year's resolution. Do you want to know why nobody can keep up with the New Year's resolution? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why can't nobody keep up with their New Year's resolution, no matter what they do, no matter what they make it be. I'll be right back. Y'all put them 1s in the chat. The reason can't nobody keep up with their New Year's resolutions is because a New Year's resolution is always based in the 10 life values. You're always going to get yourself together spiritual. I'm going to start going back to church. I'm going to start going back to the masjid. I'm going to start making my prayer again. I'm going to wear my hijab again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Or you make it about your health. I'm going to lose weight. You know, I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm going to exercise some more. You know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to really start reaching out and calling my family some more. You know, my brother and this and that, and my sister over here and this one over there, and my auntie miss me and blah, 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 blah. You know, it was good to see them. I want to try to reconnect with my family. I'm going to do a better job, you know, in the upcoming year doing that. You know, I'm going to get myself together with my appearance and stuff like that. I'm going to get me some better clothes, you know, not only when I lose weight, I'm going to start getting my hair done. I'm going to just get new year, new me. I'm just going to get myself together. I'm going to do something with my house. You know, we're going to get a new place. We're going to move. We're going to do better. The reason why you can't keep up with your New Year's resolution is because the New Year's resolutions are based in the 10 life values. But you don't live the 10 life values. You live in the lost value system. You can't keep that up. You cannot keep it up. Because that's not what you live. The reality is that you live the lost value system. So your spiritual don't got no truth to it. Your health, you don't care. Your family is not a loving support. Your appearance ain't got no standard, and your dwelling still ain't got no peace. That's why you can't keep up with New Year's resolutions. Because New Year's resolutions are seated not only in the 10 life values, they are seated in the internal values the majority of the time. And you can't keep up with what you don't actually believe and what you don't actually do. Because you just got through reveling in the lost value system and you loved every minute of it. Don't tell me that you didn't. You can't wait till next year come around so you can do it again. Next year, instead of partying in New York, we're going to go to Vegas. You planning on it. You planning on what you going to do in the lost value system. You don't live the 10 life values. That's why you can't keep it up. Your life ain't predicated on it. I know I hit somebody. I know I hit a few people today. I don't mean to do it. From the standpoint that I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm not here to ridicule anybody. I'm not standing as your judge or your accuser. I'm here to let you know I understand exactly what's going on with you because I've been in the pot too. When I became Muslim, it was a task. Breaking that stuff to your family that you don't celebrate that stuff. I don't celebrate that stuff. I'm not going to come to, there was a long time where I had to do that break. I had to stop coming around that time. I'm not coming to the party. I'm not going to do it. Kendra, you ain't coming. No, I'm not. Why? I don't celebrate it. Y'all going to be doing this. Y'all going to be doing that. And I can't participate. I'm sorry. I love y'all. But I can't participate. Oh, that's crazy. And I had to take that. And I had to explain to them. They eventually got it. They eventually understood what was going on with me and that I can't, knowing what I know, understanding what I understand, I can't. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. Well, the kids can't get nothing and da-da-da-da-da. When I was raising my brother and sister, we can't have the Christmas tree. And I know y'all done had it hard and stuff like that. And I hate to tell you no. But I tell you what, we got Eid. We celebrate after Ramadan, we make a big deal. And that's what we started doing. After Ramadan, we had an Eid, we made it a big old deal. We get the gifts and we go somewhere and we eat and we have fun and everybody got to have fun that day. Because I didn't want them to feel like we didn't love them and like we didn't care about them. So what we started doing is we give them gifts randomly. Here, you want this? Here, I got you something. The good food wasn't once or twice a year. It was every day. The I love you wasn't once or twice. It was every day. Got to show you that we care about you and that you mean something to me. You mean something to us. I love you every day. I don't need no special time for somebody to tell me how to love my family. I don't need no special time for somebody to tell me how to do for my family, how to be there for my family, how to support my family, how to nurture my family. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. Because there come a time where you can't participate in the foolishness no more. It do come that time and that point in your life. Thank you, Gregory. That point in your life where you can't participate in the foolishness, knowing that it's foolishness, knowing that it's silly, knowing that this ain't how the Most High really got things set up. And I cannot just keep on going this way to please everybody else. What about if my Lord is pleased or not? What about that? That's got to factor in at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start wrapping this up. But this one is one that hit me too. You know, I brought some levity to it, but this is a heavy one. This is a heavy one. And I say it out of love for everybody that listen, that's everybody that's here. Thank you so much, Miss C. So the lost value system gives fake good time to avoid the condition of your reality. It left my head spinning and my life in shambles. The 10 life value provide a foundation that sustains you even in the most difficult times of life. Love you, Kendra. I love you too. Lady, you know I love you. You know I love you, Miss C. And thank you so much. And it is the very truth. It is the very truth that the lost value system will have you in a place where you contemplating how you going to end it. Because it hurt. It hurt. And you don't know how to get away from that kind of pain. You don't know why you're hurting like that. It drains you to a point where you you're so empty. Thank you, Ringram. Said, love your message today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Daryl. Said, I listen from the clouds most of the time. However, you got me with the cooking good food every day. Keep on trucking. Says, thank you so much. Thank you for coming out the clouds today, Daryl. I appreciate you. I say it because I love y'all. I love y'all. We gotta, and love means that we try to do the best we can for one another. We give each other the best that we can give. We do the best for one another. We look out for one another. So I want to thank everybody for their very generous contributions today. Thank you so much, whether you contributed through Super Chat, through Cash App, or through PayPal. I want to thank you so much. Thank you again, AP. It's a hard truth, but the pagan holidays are vanity-based. It is a hard truth. It is a hard truth. Thank you, Bruce. It's a tough love. Yeah, it is a hard truth. It's not an easy. It's not an easy. It's not an easy thing for a lot of people to stomach and to swallow and to come to. It takes a lot of work a lot of times. to come to certain things and really accept them and then really act on it in the way that we know that we should. So I trust and believe, I understand, what a lot of people are going through or going to be going through if they happen to hear this message today. But know that it was delivered in love. Know that it was delivered in the spirit of the Most High. Know that it was delivered in care and concern. And that's it. Healing is a daunting task. It really is. It takes a lot. But one of the things that that might help you to heal is the fact that you can go to crimsoncure.com right now and get your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery at crimsoncure.com. Okay? The link is in the chat, and I thank my mods for putting the link there. You can certainly go right now and get your copy of this book. And we are working hard day and night to bring you the best iteration of this book. Remember, I told you that there were some revisions that need to be made, and we are working hard on making those revisions so that we can get this book in you guys' hands sooner rather than later. I'm going to keep you guys updated on the timeline as these things get closer and closer to a shipping date where you guys can start expecting the book. So trust and believe, I'm going to keep you guys updated so that you can be aware of when to expect your copy in the mail, okay? And I want to thank you so much, Capital Case. I love the reviews. Make sure you break down Avatar 2. Y'all want to break down Avatar 2? Okay. We'll see about that. As well, I want everybody to be aware that we are still talking Black Lives Matter and holding them accountable for their more than $100 million theft and misused donation funds. This 6-step initiative that we have is something that we are in for the long haul because we really want to make sure to support our Black community across the United States. So it takes a lot. And one of the things that it's going to continuously take until we get to that 100,000 signatures is for everyone to participate in the petition. Some of you, many of you have already signed it. So I thank you so much for that. But for those of you who have not signed the petition, please go ahead and click the link to the petition, sign it, share it, contribute to it as well. Also, last but certainly not least, I want to thank everyone for coming through and my support team, without which none of this is possible. Crimson Cure is not possible. The book is not possible. The website is not possible. None of this stuff is possible that we're doing, not even the subject matter that we talked about today. So I want to thank them wholeheartedly and from the depth of my heart, very sincerely, because these are some dynamic, amazing people. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.